Louisiana Beer Reviews looks at Lvivske 1715. Yeah, this bottle's pretty worn. The label comes from Ukraine. I bought this at Libby's Liquors on US Highway 1 in Lawrenceville, New Jersey. And when I saw the bottle, as soon as I saw Lviv, I said, wow, that's Ukraine. Never had a Ukrainian beer, so I immediately bought it. $1.89 for all these bottles. Product of Ukraine, Lvivske Brewery, the sole U.S. importer is Spirit Group of Cary, Illinois. Now, this company, this brewing operation was started in 1715, so on the cap they're showing 300th anniversary. It is owned by Carlsberg today. Their website is showing it with a green bottle, and they're saying 4% alcohol. This is a brown bottle, and it's saying very clearly 4.7%, so it must be higher alcohol for exports. 4.7 year-round your Pabst Blue Ribbon area. In Latin, the name of the city was like City of the Lion, and they're showing a lion on there. When this was started in 1715, it was, beer advocates saying it's okay beer. Rate beer, of course, saying 7 out of 100, terrible, and a 14 out of 100 for the style, Euro lager. When the brewing operation was started in 1715, it was part of the Kingdom of Poland, Lviv, or Lwów, as they say in Polish. A lot of smoke coming out of this thing, a lot of vapor. In 1772, the area was taken over by Austria, okay, the Grand Duchy of Austria. So it became part of the Austrian Habsburg Empire. In 1918, that empire collapsed, and they lost control of that city, which they called Limburg. Okay, so when it was controlled by the Austrian Germans, the city was Limburg. After a period of warfare between the Ukrainians and the Poles took over the city and had it as Lwów from about 1919 to 1939, when the Germans and Soviet armies invaded, as you know, when the Germans and the Soviet Union was working together to take over people's land for about close to 2 years, and so it came under control of the Soviet Union as part of Ukraine. Germans invaded and controlled it from 41 to 44, and it's been under Ukrainian control since 1944, while Soviet control, and then Ukrainian independence in 1991. Okay, so as you can see, a lot of flags have flown over this city, and even so in just the last 97 years. So you could have a very old person in the late 90s, and they've lived under many flags in that city of Limburg, Lvivske. Okay, thick white head here at 7:30 a.m. I would say clear straw, and look at all the bubbles in this Tabasco glass. Fine sediment. I'm using Tabasco because I don't usually drink out of these glasses, and I think Tabasco, it must be the only Louisiana product that you find in every part of the world, right? McElhenney's Tabasco sauce since the 1860s. Oh, this smells just like a light lager beer. Not super light like a Miller Lite, but not that different from a Miller High Life or a Coors Banquet. It's super fizzy. Very thick, foamy head. I don't know if they use adjuncts. I think they might use corn. Extremely popular in Eastern Europe. Tastes like all barley, though. I mean, you drink a beer with corn adjunct and one with just straight barley, it's gonna be different. This one just has that cracker, biscuity barley malt. like you would get with a Pilsner Urquell or a Grolsch. A little sweetness, biscuit, kind of light to medium mouthfeel, crisp, refreshing, easygoing finish. Of course, you drink so many of these light-bodied, bright Pilsner type beers, lager beers. They're more similar than dissimilar. I mean, all around Europe, whether they use the corn adjunct or not, they're just similar in character. Crisp, easy drinking, around 4.5% to 5% alcohol. Very pairable with food, especially spicy food. They're very good for warm weather. They're highly drinkable, and they are more like drinking beers than contemplative beers. They're not made to sit and think about and dissect necessarily. And that's why you have such popularity with something like Lvivske or Golden Pheasant or Kronenbourg, or in England, Carling Black Label, Birra Moretti in Italy, Peroni Nastro Azzurro in Italy, Alpha beer or Mythos beer from Greece, Matzah from Lebanon, and it just goes on and on. Efes from Turkey. I think if you did a blind taste test, you would never be able to tell them apart. Now, you probably come to the conclusion that they were all pretty good, drinkable, nice beers. 7 out of 100, to me, is an outrageously low score. Is it a world-class beer? Oh, Carlsberg. Is it a world-class beer? No, and if you read the websites of all of those brands I mentioned and many more, they don't really make that claim. They'll just talk about it's drinkable, it's pleasant, it's good for getting together with friends and pairing with food, and many of the websites will show extensive food pairings. Birra Moretti, you could spend a long time, a lot of the day, looking at all their beer pairings, food pairings. So with all these different recipes, and then they'll have recipes to have with their Birra Moretti La Rosa, the Doppelbock. So I think a lot of people don't approach these beers correctly, but I'm trying to. So not world class, doesn't claim to be. Certainly enjoyable, drinkable, a nice little bitterness at the end, little paperiness, like with some of those Central American beers, maybe say like Presidente from Dominican Republic is another one of those highly drinkable, bright lagers. So Laissez Le Bon Temps Relais, a very good beer. I'll give it a B+. It's very good. It's not exceptional in any way, but I certainly wouldn't turn it down. And y'all come on down to New Orleans.